listening to Rainier Avenue Radio World.
My name is Keith. I'm a barber from Tacoma, Washington. When the pandemic hit, it did affect me as a business owner. I have my own personal reasons why I didn't get vaccinated. But I was talking to a doctor, and he was telling me more about what it can do to protect us and our family. I wanted to get back to that once was, right? I do feel safe knowing that I am vaccinated. I just hope what I'm saying is reaching into people's heads to know that this is the best decision for all of us. To learn more, please visit hereforuswa.org.
Oh, we want to pump you up today. This is God Is, and we're doing a lot of different things in your community. We want to make sure we get in touch with each and every person that is. And so go to our Instagram, Facebook, tweet. We doing it all in your community. Go to our website also. Look us up, Rainier Avenue Radio World. Inspirational gospel music and also God Is talk show. Miss Dinah doing it all as we doing it right here on your favorite community radio station. So look us up. Go to our website. This is God Is and inspirational gospel music.
Welcome to the coronavirus pandemic. I'll take coronavirus for 100. Fever, chills, shortness of breath, loss of taste or smell. What is staying home and isolate? Correct. Coronavirus for 200. Inability to stay awake, persistent pain or pressure in chest, trouble breathing. What is seek immediate help? Correct.
Coronavirus for 500.
Crippling and potentially dead infectious disease eliminated in the United States with vaccination.
What is the polio vaccine?
Correct.
I'll take coronavirus for 700.
The Daily Double. Should I take the coronavirus vaccine? Wait. Hold up. This is not a game. It's time for serious discussions. We have coronavirus vaccines, but not everyone is comfortable taking them. Here's the facts. Based on what has been proven about vaccines for other diseases, COVID-19 vaccine may help keep you from getting seriously ill, even if you do get the virus. Getting vaccinated also may protect people around, particularly those at greater risk for severe illness from COVID-19. We don't yet have all of the answers. Get informed, talk to your healthcare physician, and make the right decision for you. This is a message supported by the Washington State Department of Health.
You're listening to Rainier Avenue Radio World. Check us out on social media, Facebook and Instagram, Rainier Avenue Radio World, and on Twitter at Rainier Ave Radio.
Hey. Happy Friday. This is Brenda Charles-Edwards, the host of Seniors Matter. We're live every Friday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time on www.rainieravenueradio.world, your community radio station. You can also listen to us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitch TV, Twitter, and of course, the Rainier Radio app, the Rainier Avenue Radio app. It's Friday. What did I tell you? We feature interviews with people that provide services or have valuable information for seniors, their family, and the community. Do you need documents notarized? Are you a senior that needs documents read to you for clarity or completion? Call me, Brenda at Black Orchid Notary, 206-683-2636. Tell me where, I'll meet you there. This February, we are celebrating African American History Month. Today, my guest is Angeilea Yancey Watson, Program Coordinator of AARTH's Elders Living and Aging Well. Angeilea is intentional about using health promotion to expose new ways of social awareness and to encourage the African American community to both control and redefine their reality. Welcome to the show, Angeilea. How are you?
I'm doing well, Brenda. Thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're here.
Yes, of course. I'm very excited to be here. I heard the show with you and Jasmine. That was amazing. And so I'm very happy to be here today.
Well, we're going to have just as much fun as I had with Jasmine, so not to worry. So I'm going to ask you, what is AARTH? And then I'm going to throw in a little commercial. So what is AARTH?
Absolutely. So African American Reach and Teach Health Ministry, that's what AARTH stands for. We are a non-religious 501c3 faith-based capacity building nonprofit organization. We have been open since 2002. We are a couple months shy from our 20th anniversary. Mary Diggs Hobson and her son Reginald Diggs created this to respond to HIV/AIDS and any other major health issues affecting our community. Our community as an African-born or African-American, specifically within the King County area. And since Mary Diggs and Reginald have passed on and have passed this torch on to us,
don't let Mary hear you say she passed on.
Well, Mary has retired, thankfully and gracefully, and she has passed that torch on to us. And so we are still remaining steadfast and intentional about our efforts to address racial inequities. And so I'll talk a little bit more about our programs after the message we have.
So, Mary, I've known you for a long time. My shout out to you is congratulations on retirement. It's wonderful. We're going to enjoy it. Embrace it.
She deserves it.
Yes. And then congratulations to Kathleen Wilcox as your new executive director. I know Kathleen also. Yes. She's great. She's going to keep leading you guys in the right direction. So shout out to Kathleen.
Yes, we love you, Kathleen.
So what programs are offered and what do you specifically do at AARTH?
So we have programs ranging from chronic disease and health management. That was a little bit about what Jasmine talked about, but we also have justice, social justice, and health equity work. We team up with Mountain West AIDS Education Training Center to go into healthcare systems or healthcare facilities that are serving African and African-American folks with HIV/AIDS or living with other chronic conditions, and make sure that the experience that they're giving, the representation that they're bringing is equal to the community that they're serving. And something that I oversee is our Elders Living and Aging Well project that has been in partnership with King County and the Department of Health since 2020. And basically what we're doing is we have a holistic standpoint of trying to address any areas impacting the socioeconomic status of African-American elders. So what that means is if you are 55 and older, you are African-born or African-American living within King County, we have services for you to help you age in place, to have empowerment over any illnesses that you may have, to bring you face-to-face with culturally appropriate care, culturally appropriate providers, and also a way for these folks to step in and say, these are the resources that we need. And so through those efforts, we've been able to provide things like our COVID vaccinations. We also have had, and so with that, we're at more than 6,300 vaccinations through the efforts of AARTH. We have our community navigators. This is my favorite part about the ELA program. So these are folks that are all 55 and older, African-born or African-American, and they're letting me know, hey, based on my own community, I live in Central District, and I know that we really need home testing kits, or we really need someone to come in and talk about grief and loss. And so I put together those programs, and I bring folks that look like them and resources that we know are quality assured so that they can have their questions answered and have a new perspective on their lifestyle. So just a helping hand as well. So that's what we do. That's what I do here at AARTH. That is my perspective, and that is just us in a little nutshell.
You must work 7 days a week.
I do. I love it, though. It is so hard because most of it is just conversation, really, especially with the community that I serve. It's not so much email. They're very much phone call or, well, why don't I just come down to the office and we'll talk about it? So I've become very accustomed to that.
So is there any one person or is there a resource that you find more important than another? The one thing that comes to mind for me with the older population is falling. How do you have any resources to teach people how to fall? So they're maybe like Leslie to break their wrists because they're putting their hands down to brace their fall?
That is a good one. So we have two different approaches to that. We have our exercise program. We have African rituals and dancing. We have Fatima Mateen, who comes in twice a month, and she's showing us different ritual dances. Last week, we did dances from Senegal and Gambia, and that's to remind us how moving our bodies and staying appropriate, whether you're sitting in the chair or you're able to stand up, helps us decrease those falls. And then the other thing is we partner with other community networks such as Sound Generations, where they are able to provide those direct services. But the cool thing about AARTH is if you were to say, hey, Angeilea, I have a group of people that really need more information about fall risk, more importantly, how to fall, then it takes no more than a couple conversations for me to bring that community effort to the forefront. So it works both ways. If the community tells me something that is needed, I make sure to have that turnaround within that quarter or the next so that it stays relevant.
That is wonderful. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
So do you have a focus population?
Yes. So everyone is welcomed to any of our services, whether that is through the healthcare system or we are seeing you through like our gardening classes or our cooking classes. However, we are intentional about these programs and education systems being firstly and primarily available for African-born and African-American elders. Now, depending on which program they fall under, so like the elders living and aging well, that one is just focused on the county level. So that one is really just aimed for African American and African born elders within King County, just because the main purpose of that is to increase the awareness of the localized resources. But we do have other programs like our Living Well with Chronic Condition that isn't specific to the county, so those within Washington state. And in the past, we have had efforts where we're going out of state to like Alaska or Oregon to share our resources. So
Really?
we're all over the place. Yeah.
I guess so. And do you get to travel with this?
Well, I think that would be the idea in the future. But right now, due to the pandemic and due to COVID, we have been flexible and we have moved everything to Zoom. And on top of that, we have also been teaching the seniors and the elders and anyone that comes into AARTH about how to access Zoom, how to use their computer, how can they go on Facebook Live. And so they get that additional education so that they're also, becoming accustomed with the times.
Great. If you're just tuning in, you're listening live to Seniors Matter with your host, Brenda Charles-Edwards, on www.rainieravenueradio.world, your community radio station. We're here every Friday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Do you know what's the best gift you can give yourself and your loved ones? Join me on Zoom for a group or individual session on Speaking of Dying, End of Life Planning. Call me at 206-683-2636. Now back to my guest, Angeilea Yancey Watson. She's extremely humbled to be a part of AARTH's continuous work at discovering and increasing existing resources that improve quality of life. That is so important, that quality of life. Can't take it for granted.
No, not at all. And I am a very big believer. One of the main reasons why I got into AARTH and into this part of the healthcare advocacy is because I grew up to teenage parents, which means that I was raised with my grandparents. And a lot of things that I saw was that they didn't have access to be who they are on the inside, which means having access to their emotions. It was about survival or being seen and not heard. And also with aging comes that belief that you can't have any preventative services, or there's a certain box that you have to fit under. Like once you get to a certain age, you're done, you might as well pack it up. But I've never believed that to be true. I feel like we should honor the folks that came before us by letting them know that these resources are here for you, because the same way you taught me softness is the same way that I'm telling you that you earned that and you deserve that. So that is a big part of all of our intentions here at AARTH.
I love that. That is so well said, because it is so true. And a lot of times, because of circumstances, people don't understand that they can value themselves and they have rights. You have the right to be heard. You may be seen, but you have the right to be heard. In some cases, you're not seen, and especially in the medical profession. I've been a patient advocate on a number of occasions, and I I had a relative recently that had breast cancer. And for 5 years, I was her patient advocate. And she told me one day I couldn't make a doctor's appointment. And they said, well, where's the sergeant? But it's like, I don't care, because I ask questions, because when you're the patient, you sometimes get wrapped in your dis-ease.
Yep.
And so you're not hearing what they're telling you. So I always take a notebook with me and I write down what they're saying, and then I ask questions, because I've done some research too. So it's really important that everyone understands you deserve to be treated as a human being, and you deserve to have all the resources that are available to you. So let me get off that box.
No, I agree, because I would say at the same time, we also believe that these healthcare facilities also need to be held accountable, not just in their day-to-day, but it needs to be represented in their policies and in their process. If you're going to come to a place that is predominantly African or African American, you need to respect the culture, and that means not giving us lack of or less quality than other folks. So I'm going to get off that box with you, because I can go on forever, but I know we are on a time schedule. So yes.
Yeah, because I have to play the COVID shuffle at the end of the show, just so you know. Boy, Daniel, my producer, Daniel, is giving me a hard time. He goes, "You're going to play that again? You must really like it." And he knows I do, because I played it twice with Jasmine. But, but we're going to end the show with it. But,
absolutely.
So you guys have a lot of programs, because I've looked at your website, and what events are you hosting this year? And one thing in particular I caught my eye was food. There's a chef coming or something.
Yes, ma'am. So you are right on it. So that is one of the things that we're bringing back. We have Chef Aduni. So she makes mostly plant-based, but all of her meals are centered around being able to have fresh and healthy foods that you can get from the grocery store at an affordable price, but also cooking healthy meals for those living with chronic conditions in under 30 minutes. So she is really good at showing us how to make really quick and healthy meals. She does like plant-based cornbread. She's done jerk chicken in the past, and folks that participate in that, they're encouraged to bring their own groceries and have the Zoom set up and just have their own like chef in the kitchen.
Oh, right.
And so she'll be coming every month, and she does take suggestions if there's a recipe that you want to try, or if you're like, I grew up on biscuits and gravy and sausage, but I know I can't necessarily eat that anymore. What's something else that I can have? That's her perspective. And then we also have Chef Wayne Johnson. He is a new chef. He will be working with us, bringing a bunch of different delicious meals and giving us a little bit of backstory about how different ingredients go together and making sure you have that melody and harmony. Both classes, any food classes that we offer, will be centered around healthy diets. So most of them are low in sodium, low in sugar, low in carb, and then they also are open up to questions. So if you have questions about meal replacements, they're there for you.
So Angeilea, on the one, what's the date of the one that's coming up? Is it this weekend?
It is this weekend. Let me pull up my calendar really quick. The lovely Jasmine Tucker, who spoke 2 weeks ago, will be facilitating those cooking sessions. So, yes.
Oh. Yes. Okay, I think I see on my screen it says
February 19th. So it's tomorrow morning.
Yes. Yep. Okay. I'm lactose intolerant, so I definitely have challenges, but I've been noticing more plant-based food, especially with yogurt, and there's been a couple different guys. So I've been taste testing, trying to decide which one do I like the best or the least.
Yes.
But my poor husband, he looks at it and he's just like,
It's a mental thing. I get it. I've been vegan for a few years, and it's really all about that mental relationship that you have. So take your time, be kind to your body, and I applaud you for being intentional. It's not easy.
No, but I know what happens when I don't do it. So I'd rather learn how to do it and prevent the other.
So you could even. Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
I was going to say, so even like that, we have a lot of folks who are like, this looks really good, but I can't have butter or I can't have this. And the chefs are almost always giving different alternatives. Like, if you don't like this, then you can use this. So it's really interactive, and we send out the recipes as well.
Okay. Well, that's interesting you say that, because we were out to dinner recently, and the waiter said, "Are you allergic to anything?" And I said, "Well, dairy." And then I had picked a salad in this particular dressing or something, and someone came out and they said, "Are you the one that's lactose intolerant?" And I said, "Yes." Well, this has this and that, and I'm like, okay, well,
nice.
You don't want me to get sick, do you, in your restaurant?
Yes, that's nice. And
but that
I think
was great, though. It was great to see that.
More intentional. And then also with food, we partner with emergency feeding program, and periodically, most of the time it's on a monthly basis, we hold food drives where folks are able to register online and then come and pick up fresh and healthy food boxes for them or their loved ones. And that can include fresh vegetables. It'll include meat oftentimes, and then dry goods as well. And so that is another way that folks are able to get food. We did a community-wide survey last year, and the top 3 most requested topics for folks 55 and older, African-born, African-American in King County was physical fitness, mostly fall prevention, body strengthening, legal services such as will, power of attorney, advance directives, and then lastly, nutrition, all the way from meal replacement options to actually getting food themselves. And so we provide different avenues for that. Yeah.
I guess so. Well, I'll throw my hat in the ring when you need a mobile notary, because I'm your girl, as they would say.
Yes.
So,
not a problem.
Thanks. What projects are you most excited about for this year?
I am most excited about conversations around mental health. And we are doing that in 2 different avenues. We have our mental health first aid certification course. This is a course that I will be teaching. I will be co-facilitating with someone. We partnered with the National Council of Wellbeing to provide this. And this is a course that teaches folks to recognize and advocate for those first symptoms of mental illness or mental health that is declining on a conversation level. So if you notice your loved one or someone that you're working with is struggling mentally, this is a 1-day course that really goes in depth on how to handle that. And I'm very, very excited. This is a new initiative. We've had 2 classes so far, and the amount of empowerment that folks are able to get, especially within a community that we've never had access to our own mental health, let alone give ourselves permission to seek help. So this first aid class that I will be teaching on an ongoing basis will be able to do that. So if you, or if you have a group or a class or someone that would like to do the adult first aid class, you would just reach out to AARTH and we can get that scheduled. We also have intergenerational conversations coming up, and those are things like things that I would like to say to my granddaughter or my grandson, or things that I want to talk to my grandma or my grandfather about. Bridging those intergenerational conversations on, well, this is what I was taught when I was growing up, and that's why I did this to you, has become profoundly healing. And we've seen the need for that. It opens up numerous conversations to accept and receive services. So I'm very happy to be bringing those 2 forward back into the communication field.
You're absolutely correct in that, because I can speak to that from personal experience. My father passed a few years ago, and I had a chance to talk with him on his deathbed, and he told me some things, and it made a difference to me when he died, because I was able to forgive him before he died. And therefore, it made it easier for me to accept his death and just know that I'm at peace. So that's really, really key. It really is. I mean, that's probably the greatest legacy someone you love could leave to you.
Yeah, so we're focusing on that legacy building, because you are right on, Brenda. I'm sorry about your loss. I'm very excited and happy for you that you went and took that step that many of us are unable to take, which is to seek peace. And as a Black woman, I'm only 26, but I have learned early on that peace as a Black woman living in America does not come easy. Right. So I'm really happy that you can attest to that, because as I get older, those are the kind of questions that I have, like more so within my own family or within my own community. And those answers don't seem to be as readily available. So bringing in grief services, but more importantly, bringing in Black or African folks who have trained and studied in these things can bring the conversation a lot further, because one thing that brings us together as Black folks and as African folks is community, knowing that you're not alone and knowing that you can trust your neighbor. Once again, bringing that back and, normalizing trusting your neighbor, I think can go volumes, because the amount of knowledge I've learned from all of these wonderful participants over the last 2 years has been indescribable.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I'm sure. Well, definitely. So how can folks keep up with the happenings at AARTH and attend events? And by the way, Daniel's been showing your newsletter when you talk about different areas, so people are seeing things.
Oh, thank you, Daniel. I really appreciate that. So there are two options. Folks can go on our website, and we have a calendar of our events. And on that calendar, there are direct links for you to register. The other way is you can call into the office, 206-850-2070. You can ask to speak to any one of us. We are a small nonprofit, and we will be able to direct you to getting signed up for our newsletter and signed up for our other communications.
And just so you know, I am flashing your business card right now.
Oh, thank you. Yes. So give my personal number is 206-446-7090. So if you wanted to reach out to me directly, I am the lead program coordinator here at AARTH, which means that if you've ever gotten just a general email, or if you've ever had just a reach out like, who is AARTH? It probably came from me. But you can give us a call and we can let you know the upcoming events. And once you get enrolled, then you'll be automatically updated for our new and upcoming events moving forward.
I love it.
Yeah.
One quick thing before we end, because I definitely want to get the COVID shuffle in.
I know.
I mean, that just brightens up my day. What can I say? Is there anything that you want to add that I haven't asked you?
No, I mean, I've talked a lot about why I'm here at AARTH. It is a very intentional organization. I would encourage folks, even if you're not sure of the help that you need, or even if you're not sure about what's going on, go to www.aarth.org, AARTH, not to be confused with AARP, which we get a lot.
Sure.
To find more information about us, and really it won't hurt to give us a call. We're not a big organization, and we love those kinds of conversations. And so if you have ways within your own community that you need help or you need information, reach out to us, because we want to give you that platform. So thank you, Brenda.
You're welcome. So this is Brenda Charles-Edwards, host of Seniors Matter. You have been listening to us on Rainier Avenue Radio.world, YouTube, Facebook, Twitch TV, Twitter, and of course our app. We're here every Friday at 12:30. And now, Daniel, I'd like to say also thank you to my audience. Thank you to Angeilea. But Daniel, hit it with the COVID shuffle, please.
Awesome. I love that video. I love it.